Good afternoon, guys. What's going on? Look at this thing right down here. You see this? This is a weed. Did you guys know that I'm out here every single week pulling these weeds? Pulling them out. Weeding my garden, weeding my where my flowers are. Do you know that Jesus talks about how we're to weed our lives? How there are things that can attach to us spiritually and physically that become weeds in our lives. You know, I think of when I lived in Arizona. There was this bush that I had in my backyard, and right beside it was what we thought was another bush that was growing. Well, we let it grow for about 4 months. We went over and looked at it, and there were thorns on it. It was a weed, and it had grown deep. We tried to dig that thing out. We had to get a shovel, we had to get a pickaxe, we had to go to town on that thing for over an hour. It had taken such a deep root. Do you guys realize that when we don't weed our lives, either our spiritual lives or our physical lives or our mental lives, that weeds can grow so deep that they can create what the Bible calls strongholds in our minds and in our lives? Maybe it's behavior, maybe it's a way that you think. Maybe it's a thought that you believe. Maybe it's something, that you've been told that's not the truth. That's what weeds are. Weeds are lies. Weeds are not the truth. And so if we don't weed our lives, it can end up to where we have a huge weed problem. Now, I want to inspire you today to go ahead and just think about your life, where the weeds are in your life, and what you need to do to pull them out. Maybe you got to do a little extra work. Maybe you have to spend an hour backbreaking time to pull out the weeds. Maybe it's just as simple as the weed that I just pulled. But I can guarantee you this. Evil is no match for good, but good must be active, okay? Think about it if you plant a garden, right? If you plant a garden and you just let the weeds take over your garden, you're not going to be able to eat anything later on. You have to pick the weeds. Same thing about our lives, guys. Let's go ahead and examine our lives today and see what are some weeds that I can pull. What are some behaviors that I do that are not God-worthy, God-honoring? What are some thoughts that I have that are pulling me down? And let's go ahead and pull those weeds today, guys. I want to inspire you to do that, okay? Because, listen, it may take a little bit of initial work, but in the long run, you'll turn it something that blooms so beautiful like a flower when the weeds aren't choking you out. God bless you guys.